Good morning, friends of the channel. Third episode, right, Emma? 3. We are at the third episode with Christmas ideas. We've made some beautiful resin decorations for your tree or to give as gifts. We've shown a very special centerpiece where we actually decorated the ceramic itself, and now instead I want to teach you something. A different method for creating gift tags, or in any case, real handmade Christmas letters in a slightly different way. We'll use gold, copper and silver leaf and decorate with some beautiful tags, which are exactly these, designed specifically for this kind of use, obviously Christmas themed, and of course with a bit of a vintage touch. On the back, we could write something very personal, a bit like people used to do in the 1970s and 1980s. Postcards had to be kept because they were a memento of that person. So we'll also go back to writing a letter for the person receiving the gift. Shall we get started? Let's start. These cards are recycled, but they are perfect because we'll use them after cutting them up to create our envelopes, our tags, our Christmas letters. We'll make them by personalizing them with different shapes using recycled forms. If you have little molds like these, all the better. Or I'll also use the shapes that are from the wood-tube moldings. If you receive them, please never throw them away because they are like gold. Look how cute they are. I'm going to make these tags slightly bigger, so that you can actually write something really personal on the back, because in my opinion, that's what's missing these days. What's missing is the personal touch, the handmade, the care, the little treat. And a shop-bought greeting card won't have the same value as a handmade one, it just won't. But please, make sure you follow the steps carefully, because the result needs to be well made and properly handcrafted. Brush, glue, our mission. For the gold leaf, which is called Linfa, it's a glue that becomes sticky as it dries. I'll put a bit in the little bowl, and now we'll start applying it. Let's spread the glue over the whole sheet, nice and thoroughly, so that the entire surface is completely covered. You mustn't miss a single square centimetre. Why use gold leaf? First thing, because you simply can't achieve the effect of gold leaf with any kind of metallic paint, I'm afraid. Second, because with magic paint gold leaf, which has the decal, it takes hardly any time at all and you don't make a mess, since the leaf doesn't fly everywhere. The decal is the glue that keeps the sheet of gold, copper, or silver attached to the orange backing. And above all, it costs so little that you'll have fun and create beautiful things for a really, really low price. Now look, I try to be neat, but I actually like the leaf a bit crumpled. So I put it between my hands, crumple it up a little, then open it out and press it down well. And then I lift it up. That's the magic of it. Nothing goes to waste. You'll use just a few little sheets, really just a few euros, and you'll get a fresh result, truly molten gold. Look, I'll bring another one closer, but I apply it in a different way, not all neatly squared and lined up next to each other. I prefer to be a bit messy. This way, the application of the gold will be more modern, a bit more contemporary. See? Nothing gets thrown away. Look, this is an old little sheet, already used. I crumple it up. I don't throw anything away. I reuse it even like this. The great thing about magic paint gold leaf is that, since it has the decal, you can place it exactly where you want. And everything you have gets used. Look, 100%. Nothing goes to waste. Now look, I carry on, a few sheets, some newer, some older, and I fill up my whole sheet. I take my Re Mida leaf in the version. Wands. I crumple it just a little bit, very lightly, because I don't want it to be completely uniform. And look, I stick it on. When we go to rub it in, it will become super, super, super shiny. I'll show you the same process with silver and gold as well. Let's start with the first shape, and let's begin with the gold leaf, the classic one. To make things easier for myself, I take my cutter and simply follow the shapes of the little tree with the cutter. It actually takes me less time overall because I don't have to first draw the line with a pencil and then cut it out with scissors. This way, the process will be a bit quicker. I'll definitely have a few little bits and pieces to trim off here and there, but it'll be much less than if I had to draw with a pencil and then cut it out. And voila, my golden little tree is done. I'll just touch up here as I wasn't very precise. All right, and now let's start with the decoration. I take this decoration from Redesign and I cut it off from the others so I can actually manage it much better and much more easily. Now I take my little tree and position it. Oh, voila! Now, with a small piece of wood provided, I can make the transfer stick well. I massage with my white glove to make the transfer adhere even better and to make the gold even more shiny. Look at that, what a beauty! Now I protect it so it won't get scratched and will remain indelible for years. I protect it with Cigno Oro. To protect gold items, whether it's leaf, gold or something else, it's even better to use it. Because it gives an incredible shine, and since it's not water-based, but actually solvent-based, it helps to achieve a truly excellent finish. Gold, super gold. And so it doesn't dull or oxidize the gold. I repeat the same process on the other tags, on the gold base and on the silver base. Look how beautiful that is! This transfer is completely different from the others. I'll show you how lovely it is. The idea of writing on the gold leaf and decorating the back with the transfer. This is a Label Deluxe line, that's the specific name, but it's a very special range, actually printed on a gold foil. I'm taking this shape, which is more or less the same as the others. And what do? I make my shape, always trying to waste as little as possible. I cut out the surface just as I did before, but this time, I won't be working with the transfer on the gold part of the piece. Instead, I'll be working on the back, where it's white. And then instead, the letter will be written on the gold with an even nicer pen. First, I smooth the gold out, so that it's nice. Meanwhile, here we apply our transfer. I've chosen this one, and as you can see, it's very special. Obviously, since it's cut out on a gold foil, only the shiny and bright part of the design will be transferred, precisely the part of the foil. It's a real wonder. Look. Tell me this isn't truly stunning. We write here, and here we have the top part. And here, of course, we make a hole and add the bow. I'll carry on. For those people, on the other hand, who aren't particularly fond of the gold leaf, here's an alternative I'm offering. It's slightly more country, but still very chic. I'm using a piece of recycled card, Havana-coloured cardboard. I cut it as before, using my template, but I treat it differently. I trim the edges a little bit, so that it's more precise. On this Havana-coloured tag, I'm applying a completely different transfer, a gold foil one. And voila! Now let's protect it. Now I'll be mixing loads of techniques to create tags, cards, gift tags, call them what you like, all different from each other. We'll have fun with gold leaf and lots of different transfers. Our Christmas gift tags, Christmas letters, are practically ready. Now I'll show them to you because there are loads. Copper coloured with gold writing on the front, transfer on the front, silver on the back, I write here, decoration on the front and gold on the back. So I write with the pen on the gold. In this one too, very cute, with little pine trees on the front, lighter and white on the back. Here, of course, the hole is still missing, which we'll make with the hole punch and we'll add the bow we'll look at together. This one is also very cute on craft paper, where you can write on the back near the hole. I do it with the punch hole. But usually our trick is to remove the plastic part underneath and see exactly where to make the hole. This way, you really don't make any mistakes, like this, more or less. I can clearly see how far I've actually got. And a press down. Voila! Now Emma, who's so good at this, is going to make all the bows and all our decorations. For this kind of work, I have stocked up on bows, all different from one another. This one, for example, is green velvet with little gold polka dots. The last part, but in my opinion also the most personal and important, is this one. So a gift tag with a dedication that can also become a decoration for the tree. I'll make two types, and here you can already see a spoiler. We'll use this beautiful decoupage from Temalì Deco, which is made from natural fibres. And it's called Travail Menage. And we'll use the resin moulds that you can find in a tutorial from 2 weeks ago, which is actually called Resin Tree Decorations. Of course, you can find the full tutorial on how to make them here on my YouTube channel. So we'll use the same little moulds we've used so far, the base from the wood you bend trims, to create real decorations. I'm putting them here because I've already thought about them. I've already made them, otherwise the tutorial would have become too long. But you already got the method for making resin molds, and it's always the same. On a piece of card, the same one I've been using so far, I'm using the Havana-coloured one. I draw the shapes of the two molds I want to do today. I didn't choose them at random, but because I want them to be beautiful and significant. One is this one, and one is that one. Here, I take the pencil so I can cut it out and make it really precise. 1, 2. Now I'll cut it out and show you in a moment. It's beautiful and perfect. With the first mold, I look for a part of the decoupage that I like. You can do this by optimizing the space on the decoupage and filling it all up, or by picking out the things you want to highlight more. For example, I really love this little handbag and these two little ladies. So I'll do it like this. I'll put it here and move up a bit so I can get them in like this. I always carefully draw around the edges with my pencil, making sure to trace precisely, so that I can then cut out the decoupage precisely and do a nice, clean job. I do the same thing with the other, smaller tag for the second one. Maybe I'll put something a bit more descriptive this time, since this one is perhaps a bit more figurative. Instead, on the other one, I start from here. I add a part of the umbrella and also some writing. I really like this part. And voila, I cut them out with scissors. Now we simply stick the decoupage onto the cardboard. We do it just like on the furniture, using the protective coating. I use the satin protective coating, and I've already got it here. If you can, don't use the diluted one, because it would still be like putting water on the surface, and since we're obviously working with a cardboard surface, it takes a bit longer to dry, so I obviously take the decoupage and I place it as precisely as I can. Of course, you can move it around, so you can easily adjust it and be extremely precise when doing this. Here too, I make sure it sticks really well to the surface. If you get these wrinkles, don't worry, you can lift it up and put some more protective coating underneath if it's already been absorbed. And then make sure it sticks well like this. On this side, I'm already going to put a nice layer of protective coating over the decoupage, so that, as well as making it stick, I'm also sealing and closing it. I'm being quite generous with it because I want it to be nicely protected. To colour the mouldings, I've decided to create a palette with these colours: True Love, Lucky Forest, Nuit d'Amour and Nuit Parisienne. Everything is enhanced with the Rococo. I'll take some small brushes. They're all part of the brush sets, both flat and round tip, and I'll obviously go ahead and decorate everything. I've decided that the frame, both the large and the small one, I'll do them in black, so I'm starting with a brush and Nuit Parisian. You know that Nuit Parisian is a truly amazing black, because it's not just black, it's a vibrant black, with a very particular tone inside. I colour it all in and then we'll make it even more precious with the Rococo. I'm adding some decorations with the new gold glitter or a Vivo magic paint. Right, they'll give it loads of shine. You can start to see the final result taking shape. I give it an antique look with Noyer Foncé and Noyer Clair waxes. Final touch. And now we let it dry. Using just a tiny bit of hot glue, I carefully stick the first frame onto the small tag. One. Now I add the little tree. Two. And now the little bow. A touch of red that really makes it feel like Christmas. The first one. And now let's do the second one. Of course, I've also antiqued the back part. Et voila, let's start the biz. This restyling is also finished. Let's say we're bringing together all the restylings we've done over the past few weeks, because we started with the resin decorations, the wrapping paper, and today a beautiful letter to finish the gift decoration. This is because I want to show you that to create beautiful, high quality, well finished, truly elegant things, you don't necessarily need a lot of money. You don't need expensive bows or fancy ribbons. All you really need is a bit of creativity, a touch of innovation, and on top of that, we have fun. In my opinion, once it's taken off the box, it can simply become a decoration for a tree, a bit bigger, a bit more special. And what can I say? It's absolutely adorable. Really, really cute. A decoration you can keep and hang on the Christmas tree with the dedication on the back. So what more could you want? Truly made with heart. Goodbye for now, and make sure you don't miss next week's final Christmas tutorial because it will be the perfect way to wrap things up before Christmas. And remember, the products I showed you in this tutorial are only available on the magicpaint.it website. So don't forget, same website, where you'll also find the authorized retailer. You won't find the authorized retailer anywhere else. Only on the magicpaint.it website, listed by region. Only they are the official ones, the others are not. And most importantly, we are not on Amazon. No. Goodbye.